Scholars, it is about 7 o'clock in the morning. I have not went to sleep because I spent almost 20, well, after I got off work, I've been working nonstop on this review. I took what was 2 hours worth of stuff and I shrunk it down to around 36 minutes. 37 it looks like, or almost 38. This brutally honest review for Halo Combat or Campaign Evolved. And it will take about 8 hours to render, which is actually better than I thought, but it's 18 gigabytes of data. So the uploading will take, well, it shouldn't take too long, but the processing from YouTube side is what will take long. Also, I'm going to take 2 seconds to rant. I fucking hate FedEx. So I bought a PC from Starforge. They didn't give me one of my terabyte hard drives, my solid states. They sent it to me. I also bought a couch for my office, like a small couch for students to be able to sit on. FedEx, I guess, combined them together and delivered them not to my house. And I woke up like I've been hunting around the multiple, like it's like 3 blocks down, some random ass house, and I knocked the other door because I found it with same chair, same like corner of deck and everything. And they're like, we've been out of town for a week. So I'm gonna give everyone a chance. Like I'm working with Starforge, send the message, and then I'm trying to work with Amazon. If they won't do anything for me, then I'm going full Karen on FedEx because we're looking at like, it was $200 couch. The solid state drive is what, $600, something like that for 2 terabytes. I don't know how expensive they are, but they're expensive. So it was a lot of money, and I'm going to go full Karen, and I'm going to go absolute ape shit because I fucking hate FedEx. I have never had a good job. If there's anyone that I pray that shuts down, it's FedEx. Piece of fucking shit service. Like we have Amazon, we have regular mail. FedEx can go away. They can shut down and cease to exist in life. Cancer would be cured as soon as FedEx shut down. That's how much I fucking hate them. Truly, truly awful, worthless company. The only time they're ever fucking useful is they're forced to get a signature, because then 1, they actually show you're to the right place, or 2, they're lazy asses just drop it off at their local drop spot, and I'd rather do that because at least I know where it's at. But no, the fact that it wasn't even like, when I tell you that the number is like 50 digits away from what mine is, that's how fucking awful it is. And I know this is a mini rant, but I've been running around the local area chasing my fucking package, a couch, and a solid state drive. So I'm a little pissed. I'm a little salty. I need a rant. This is my therapy. This is me getting some therapy. So sound off. Let's all go to our group therapy session. Sound off in the comments. How's your FedEx experience, and do you hate them as much as I do? Now, talking about saying farewell, Datto is not doing Destiny no more. Mao, I'm gonna be honest, saw that coming. He stopped doing really like hardcore Destiny like a while ago, like a year or so ago. And I could see it. Now it's a reality. Welcome. We're here. I'm gonna be honest, like I'm not attached to like, I'm gonna be brutally honest, mostly because maybe I'm a little, moody. I don't give a shit. Like I have no attachment to Datto, like, oh, tears, sadness. I don't give a fuck. Go live your best life. Unironically, if there was, because I never really watched Datto back when I was like just playing, never doing content creation, or if I was on console, because before I went to PC, I was on console, obviously. Never watched a Datto guide, never gave a shit, didn't know who the fuck they were until like a year or so ago when I started really getting more involved in like this social aspect of Destiny, and that's when I figured out who Datto was. No, ironically enough, the person who I actually watched guides for before, you know, jumping in was Maddox. That's right. I used to be a fan of, like, I'm still a fan of his guides. Like, he still does decent guides. I just wasn't a fan of, you know, the more he kept going and fondling Bungie's balls, the less I liked him. But I liked his stuff. Like, you can disagree with how someone acts and still like what content they push out. Like, there it is. So let's just kind of like, by the way, we're going to look and see how people are reacting to Datto saying farewell. But honorable mention, Houndish. Again, this is someone that I think when Destiny 2 launched, I watched a little bit of Houndish. Never really jumped into it. So they're looking. I'm looking for a new job. Destiny 2 isn't going to cut it anymore. Well, I don't know if that's like a joke title or if that's true, because I feel like a lot of Destiny creators are looking for a new job. Either that or they're putting the fries in the bag. But not very many people, let's be honest, are as successful as Astacross to do variety. Like, Astacross is like the primo of the Bungie community to be able to jump ship to anything and be successful. There's a couple like people who are trying, you know. I think I saw that. I've never watched her. Savalar's doing Warframe. Max doing Warframe. I for all spelt surprisingly was doing Warframe. So I wish them the best of luck. I hope they find success, because Warframe's a great community and it's a great time. So I hope nothing but success in that regard. But then we've got Forcer. Houndish in 10 years when every Destiny YouTuber has a quit, but he's still making Xur videos. Ooh. It looks like someone didn't get the tagline. All right, so let's see what Datto actually had to say. As of now, August 18th will be my last day as Datto does Destiny. I plan on retiring from the game and content creation for the game. Deadlock will be my new home going into the future, along with variety. I'll have more to say when we get closer to the 18th. Well, that's like that's the thing, right? Like, as a content creator, the life of making content will go down the drain. As a player, you could probably consume Destiny until the servers shut down, because there's actually quite a bit to do and to play, and you can even challenge yourself by doing like solo activities. There's a bunch of like solo raid activities that, even though that's not intended, you could still do that. Speed runs, things that if you you want that challenge, that itch, there's things to strive for. PvP, it's only a matter of time before all PvP is nothing but like what is happening to Call of Duty, like Black Ops 2. It's filled with cheaters and hackers, and before long, I suspect that's what's going to happen to Destiny PvP in probably PvE. So just be careful out there. But this hits harder than Destiny going to into service. How? Datto has always been the guy to go for information about the game and honestly carry the YouTube scene for a long while. I mean, you can't really carry everything if there's nothing new. There's really no Destiny without Datto. Appreciate you, fella. I mean, there's going to be Destiny without Datto. Just going to be not having any service. Translation for non-Destiny players: Braun is retiring. Yeah, we're going to also look at Paul Tassie's in a minute as well. I started playing D2 because of Datto. My clan, my entire friend group exists in part because of his content. That's a little weird. He has inspired us to raid. That's cool. To clear contest modes, to challenge ourselves, even though Destiny is over for now. I hope he'll continue to do the same for others going forward. I'm just, so he's gonna be a deadlock guy. Yeah, I never played that game. Datto retiring tweet. Oh, it's like it's seriously over. Everything is downhill from here. Yep. Who could have guessed that one day you would be cleaning your vault for the very last time? End of an era. Thank you, Datto, for everything you've given us over the years, your thoughts and your guides. Thank you. I will see you Starside. Well, that you won't, because he's not going to be doing any Destiny content. Prismo, whenever I think of Destiny content creation, Datto is at the top of the list. A true legend. Sad day, many more to come, most likely people moving on to other things. I mean, you have no choice. Been clear, it's over for 2 months now. I hate to say it. I mean, yeah, let's just say it how it is. It's actually been over for a year or so. Like it's been over. Just people are now coming to the realization that we're there now. That's the difference, is that people are now coming to the realization it's actually over. I saw this a long time ago. End of an era. Yeah, the era, technically, let's be honest, the moment they announced end of service, we all should have known, like, you all should have expected this to be an outcome. Also, it's kind of funny that just Datto gets the shout out. Fuck everyone else. There's been a bunch of other people like that have been genuinely like not like bad content creators that were like, I'm leaving, and no one gives a shit. Man, I feel sorry for them more than I do Datto. I feel sorry for all the people that are literally just no one gives a shit about you. And that's the community in a nutshell. They'll have very specific people they care about, and after that, they don't give a fuck about the rest of the community. If that doesn't explain the Destiny content in a nutshell. Guys, I'm starting to get really scared. You should be. Marathon's literally right around the corner. It's actually better. There's always people who are so delusional. Yes, people are definitely going to go to Marathon because that's going to replace Destiny. Extraction shooters suck. Doesn't matter what kind of aesthetic you put on them. They fucking suck. The rewards are about as miserable and meaningless as online gambling. Marathon is superior to Destiny in every way. No, it's not. You think your absolute god-awful shitty little red green ball alien bastard compiler, you think they stand a chance against a Destiny raid? Fuck off with that. Yeah, this person is obviously delusional. Also, they don't realize that more people play on PC. Like, they're desperate saying it's consoles, it's up in the millions. Bro, the console, it only sold 1.5 million total, and 70% is PC. It's literally, no, it's not. Sorry, Sony Game Bud. We have verified. Verified by whom? Verified by some random living room journalist. What the fuck? Dude, this guy... I will never understand people like this. One follower, Andy, is out there literally gripping Bungie's Marathon's penis, just desperately trying to milk something to come out, but nothing's coming out. Desperately trying. You've got to just let these people live out in their little bubble. All right, let's see. Let's see what Paul Tassi has to say. Don't know if we'll watch the full thing or not. How long is it? It's 11 minutes. We're 14 minutes in. If I don't yap so long, we might actually be okay. We might actually be able to do, a double dose of reacts. I'm interested. I'm only going to really listen to see what Paul Tassi has to say in general. I imagine he's going to stop covering Destiny because there's really nothing to cover. That's my guess. I'm just going to go ahead and toss my hat in the ring of that.
All right. I'm back with another Destiny video.
Yeah, here we go.
The last ones for who knows how long. I just saw that Datto announced his retirement from Destiny content creation, and Datto does Destiny, and he is moving over to Deadlock full time. I'm not announcing my retirement. If I was, that would be a pretty bad overlap, I guess. Being overshadowed by a much more influential content creator. I was gonna make this video for a couple of days. I've been like turning it over in my head, and I think I've gotten to the point where, as good as the game has been, as good as the state it was in at the end, and so many people rush back to play it, I think I'm done. I'm having trouble concocting a scenario in my head in which I go back and play the game now. I had like some.
You know what's crazy is that the game has been so bad. I would say the game has been bad since after the final shape. I think the prime time was doing all the expansion content, and afterward everything fell flat. Like Echoes was trash, Revenant was trash, Heresy to me was trash because it was just nostalgia bait, and everyone was so used to the trash that we had that it looked like gold, but it was trash. Though that trash looked better than Edge of Fate trash, and then Renegades was just cash grab trash. Like Destiny has been an absolute garbage fest of trash, and this is for the first time the best I think Destiny has ever felt. They finally got groove. Like armor is so important, and it can change and create. Like there's so many fun builds. It used to be there was like the one specific meta build, but now there's like multiple meta builds. And the thing is like even each like Hunter does massive DPS, Titan can do ad clear and survivability, Warlock kind of does fucking everything. Like you could choose more than one option. And you're gonna have a different experience for each class. And they're going to have multiple options. Like that is the thing that Destiny's desperately been needing, is that Bungie has all kept everything cornered to like one or two specific builds, and then that's it. Whereas with the armor and now all the artifacts, it feels like there's so much life in the game, which is weird to say because it's dead, Jim. But it feels like it has so much potential to drag on to play. Like if you were just a gamer, you could probably play this game for at least a year. Like if you wanted to like min max every little thing, I guarantee you could go like perfect armor, perfect weapons, everything, bling, 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 perfectionism. You could probably go, for a year. I don't know like why you would, but you could. But yeah, I mean, there's really nothing out there that's going to give you a Destiny fix. Warframe's fantastic, but like raids are great. And even now that there's a point to farm all the stuff and try to get those juicy god rolls, and then test your builds on those raids. Like it's crazy. If they had just done this, I feel like Destiny would be in such a better spot, especially with the armor. If they just didn't do half the shit they did with Edge of Fate, and you're like, hey, here's tiered stuff, here's your armor with mods, set perks, and we had like 2 or 3 new armor sets with crazy perks. I think the game would be okay. Like obviously the perks, the armor itself wouldn't save Destiny, but they put as much effort into like in an activity like they did of like distortions and bringing the rest of the content up, like or SRL, got Sparrow Racing. I don't know. I just feel like there's just, if they had just done some of the bare minimum that we got here. With Monument, the whole monumental send off. If they had just started sooner, I feel like Destiny would have been a better place. Like, I think I would have never tried to jump ship from the game. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. I think personally, I would never try to sell my account. I would never try to jump ship. I would have definitely probably spent another thousands of hours. I mean, 13,000 hours, was 13,000 hours. Probably almost like, what? I don't know now. With me farming raids. I mean, 13,000 hours, that's a lot of fucking time. And this, I feel like I've got a second win. Like, it's crazy. I was jaded, tired of Bungie, and now that Bungie's mostly got their hands off Destiny and it's like done, it's like the best it's ever been. Like, it's better than Destiny 1 when it ended, which is saying a lot because they had their, Age of Triumph with all the armor and shit too. But I feel like this one's more impactful. I know I just yapped a little bit, but like, we don't really sit there and talk about like Destiny in that regard. Like, what I actually, how the player perceives it, because everyone's about content creators are now moving on. Well, just because they move on doesn't mean you have to move on. Just because Datto doesn't play Destiny doesn't mean you can't. Doesn't mean you have to stop. If you enjoy it, continue playing it. It's like people do the same thing with Anthem. Continue playing Anthem until they shut the servers off. That's how it is.
Internal goals of things to do in terms of like making cool builds, getting cosmetics. Weirdly, I think the thing that sort of tipped me over the edge is when I got all of the shaders that you could do with like the knockout system of bright dusts or engrams. And like, there's more. There are a couple hundred, I think, transmog pieces of armor that you can get, but it's just endless bright dust grinding, and it's like a bonus if you did want to keep playing the game just as you are. You can do that and get that over time. But if you're like grinding those out, like, you're gonna have a bad time. So at a certain point, it just sort of fades, and I'm still sort of in denial because it's like, it feels like one of the content lulls right now, where it's like, okay, like, I'm drifting away from Destiny, I'm gonna play some other stuff, and then I'll come back when there's new content, and it'll be excited again, and it'll the cycle continues. No more cycle. It's never coming back. So you just sort of drift off from it, and there's nothing to prepare for. There's nothing to achieve, I guess, in outside of your own mind. And if you've accomplished what you wanted to, with the end content presented, it's sort of like, hey, like, for old time's sake, like, let's hop onto trials, or let's run this raid or dungeon or whatever. But it's just not something I have any desire to play anymore.
That's fair.
And in a way that's just so dispiriting, because I know that's not going to change. All of the times where I'm just like, oh, Destiny's in a bad state, oh, there's nothing to do, it was always like a constant where you knew you would eventually come back to it. And it's just not like that now. And I've, instead thrown myself into the hyper addiction of Pal World, which is just ridiculously grindy, but fun and whatever. But I think I've come to realize, people are like asking me like what my new main game is going to be. And I don't think I can have one. I feel like at this stage in my life and gaming career, there isn't a replacement for Destiny. Like, there isn't going to be. I've spent, 11, 12 years now.
The closest that I'll get as my forever game will be Warframe, but it won't be at the same state as Destiny, because I've learned my lesson from Destiny that instead of spending 13,000 hours in one game, I'd rather spend, a couple hundred high quality targeted hours having as much fun as I can, but also then taking a break so that when I come back, I enjoy it. Like, I haven't played Warframe in like 2 weeks because of like Power World and Halo, but that's okay because I was previously grinding Warframe very heavily. And so it's good to have variety so that I'm personally not getting jaded or burnt out, or, I'm consuming all the content and then, upset because there's nothing else to do. Which, by the way, I always have a bunch to do on Warframe, but I also just don't want to burn myself out. And that's one thing I've been doing better with Warframe than I did with Destiny.
With Destiny, like, way before my kids were born, like right when I first got married, thereabouts. And it's just hard to see myself being like, well, it's Warframe now, like a game that has already been around for a decade. That would require hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of catch up for me to even become like a remotely interesting person potentially to listen to on that game.
I mean, Maddox did it, though. I'm curious how much he actually, traded. People gave him freebies, how much he paid out of the pocket. But honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Like, am I gonna throw shade at Maddox if he paid his way by buying everything? No, honestly. I mean, that's a way you could play if I mean, there's stuff you still have to farm to you have to play naturally. But if you're trying to jump in and you're a content creator and you want to be part of a community, you're investing both time and your money. Hey, that's your choice, right? But as a player, I mean, it's so easy to jump in as a player. Like from a journalist point or a content creator point, that's a different story. But as a player, it has never been easier to just jump in and play Warframe. And that's the nice thing about it. It's easier to jump in and play Warframe than it has ever been for Destiny since they scrapped essentially the main part of Destiny 2.
And hopping into all these existing spaces, things you haven't been with from the start, I certainly believe in playing for fun's sake because something's fun. But in terms of, my relationship to Destiny, my relationship to my audience, even my relationship with Bungie, it's going to be hard to replicate. And I don't think I can force something like that. And honestly, I've been struggling in terms of like kind of what to do from here, especially in terms of this channel. I mean, like writing, let's say Destiny hasn't been the biggest draw for articles for a while, but videos, this was one of my little carve outs. And I still think there's things to talk about with Bungie, maybe sometimes with Destiny. Marathon, but obviously, I'm not doing high level.
Oh, there's plenty to talk about when it comes to Bungie. It's talk about, some of the loony bins that are part of their marathon community. That's where the gold is, Paul. You just need to hop on the choo-choo train and watch the clowns of the circus. That is free content. It's funner to do that than actually play marathon. Just so we're clear, that is its own little mini game that's funner than marathon.
Marathon strats. I am monitoring the health of the game, shall we say. Obviously, Marathon is not a Destiny replacement in my coverage. I don't want to make like 9 negative videos for every one positive one on Marathon endlessly. Like I'm not going to be the dudes with the thumbnails making like 45 videos about how the Odyssey's going to fail and stuff. Like the Marathon's the Odyssey. You get what I mean? Like basing your whole personality around the downfall of something. I really don't try to do that with Marathon. I really try to just kind of present the facts and the reality of the situation. But that's not something you can just turn to. And I'm lucky with all you guys because I do think at least some of you will stick around for things I have on, takes I have on other topics, whether that's news or other games I'm playing or something. It's just, I don't think I can flip a switch and be like, it's Deadlock now. Like I envy Datto for that, like to find a new space in that realm.
Well, I mean,
having already,
he was already going to Deadlock, and I think he's going to have a hit in his audience. And I think he's okay with that. Like you have to have like an acceptance, a level of, you will probably lose people, and you'll have some dedicated people like Astacross has dedicated people that watch and play whatever, right? It just depends on what you bring to your stream. And there's going to be a lot of people that will follow Datto regardless of what he plays, because he brings, whatever experience to whatever game he goes. And he's, very detailed, very focused. And that's kind of he's analytic. That's always been his thing. And people want his takes. And so, it just depends on how good Deadlock is. I can Deadlock carry his channel? Who knows? Does he care? I don't know.
Been cultivating that for a while. It's great. And I've seen other Destiny content creators like pivot to, well, not pivot, but like at least dabble in other types of games. I know True Vanguard went to Marvel Rivals and done really well there. I think the old fabled MTash Genshin Impact run, which that was an epic run. That was one of the best pivots I've ever seen in terms of like blowing up a channel.
It's funny that he mentioned the two most unhinged losers for Marathon. MTash crashing out because of Asmongold, and True Vanguard crashing out on everyone talking about Marathon, even though his happy ass doesn't even play it. Like two losers, and yet they both crash out. Man.
That was crazy. But a lot of people are doing this, like, this and that strategy for whatever new loot dish-based game comes out. Like that's people's wheelhouse. But I'm not, it's different for me because I'm not really doing like strategy guides and like, this is the best thing to do this. Like maybe periodically, if I really discover something cool, like I could tell you the best way to farm for flame organs in Pal World, or like figured out the best way to, dig up holy water and, things like that. But that's just never really been who I am. So I'm probably going to stick more to, commentary on news. I've thought of, and what I am playing, I would like to make more Battle content because it's fun right now. Obviously there's other games coming out. I'm going to talk plenty about GTA 6. It's just, I don't want to say like variety, but that's like more of a streamer thing. And that's just not really who I am. It's just, I want to keep an interesting channel that people like outside of just, here's my latest insider Bungie thing that is a disaster. And I don't know, like it's up to you whether you.
It's kind of funny because that's kind of what Paul has going for him. if I'm being honest, it's the fact that Paul has insiders to Bungie that I'm going to be safe from. I speak for myself. I only give a shit. If he didn't have any inside information, I would not give a shit about Paul Tassi. But he's like the only one that has like the ear to the Bungie wall, and that's like it, man. Like, I actively do not care about journalists nowadays, mostly because they're shitty, they're scummy, they're paid, or they're pushing their agenda. Whatever it is, they're usually worse than watching a review on a game online versus watching them. Like, most modern journalists are just trash, except for the ones that can bring you some inside information. That's the only value I find in them.
I think I've earned that or not, or whether you think what I have to say on other topics is worthwhile. I'm excited to see how people like, my This Week at Tassie segment, where it's like a news roundup. And sometimes there's like Destiny, Bungie news in there, but whatever. That's something I should stop missing. But I don't know, motivation's been a little hard. This also comes at a time where like I need to start relying, I guess, more heavily on YouTube than I do writing, because writing is dying, and just in general. And, YouTube is not quite dying at the same level. And I would like to expand my channel. I would like to make more videos.
It's not dying though.
Put more effort there. I just kind of have to figure out what that looks like now, both in terms of content or like how I, change the channel. I will probably not be getting rid of this format of just me doing this in one take, or be playing gameplay and recording audio in one take, except when the dog barks or the doorbell rings. I have no super issues with that. Like, if people want me to be like way slicker produced and stuff, like I probably need better equipment and stuff like that. But it's just going to be a process. And like, I feel like I could have put more work in ahead of time. This really caught me off guard that like, it's not just that Destiny would get less popular. It's that it would just spontaneously combust. You might say not as spontaneous.
Raise your hand if you're not surprised this happened. Now raise your hand, class. Raise your hand if you saw this. You saw this happening a long time ago. Okay, so anyone else was obviously living under a rock or was deluding themselves, because this was always the direction we were going, and it was very obvious for people who actually, were using the mind.
As you think, given the trajectory of things, but it's still a long ways to go from like, oh, we're having a down year compared to what it was, to firing half the studio and this game is never getting an update again. I've said before, I've never seen anything like this in the live service space for a game this high profile. Like, if we're talking Marvel's Avengers or Anthem, those were failures like from the start, and they never got over that hill, and then they were killed 2-3 years later, but they hadn't made an impact in the first place. Whereas Destiny, all these other ongoing games figure out ways to live on and on and on, and they just couldn't do it, whether that's Bungie leadership, whether that's Sony, whether that's decision making. It's shocking to me. I have nothing really to compare it to, and that's why I've kind of been thrown for a loop here. I'm sure a lot of you have too as players, like, not just me, Mr. Writer, content creator, but you're kind of just like, what do I do with my hands now if they're not playing Destiny? And I don't know the answer to that. I'm kind of...
no! Paul, we know what you're doing with your hands when you got nothing else to do. Come on. I'm not the only one whose mind went there. Don't lie. Your mind went there too.
Of acting, I guess, like I am in Destiny's down periods where you move to other stuff, but with the knowledge now that there is no more non-down period, it's just down. It's cool to see that there are still a lot of people playing Destiny. The numbers, have been better like now, even weeks after the update, than they were most points during the entire past year, which I think is, I don't know. It's hard to kind of process all this, and I'd love to hear what you say, and I'd love to know what you think about this, think about the future of the channel, and I don't know. There's plenty to talk about, and the gaming industry is forever changing, but I'm just trying to find my place in it. So anyway, thank you for...
Link will be down below. Well, hopefully, because when YouTube processes it, it resets my whole summary and I have to re-link every time. It's so annoying. Anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. Very interesting. Multiple, more. We're probably going to see more and more people say goodbye to Destiny. even Astacross, I think, is eventually going to say goodbye in August. Like, it feels like a lot of people are saying they're done with Destiny in August, which makes sense because there's a lot of games coming out in September, and then like obviously Grand Theft Auto is going to be where a lot of content creators gravitate to. Personally, I have no desire to play Grand Theft Auto 1 because I'm not going to support Sony, and 2, I just don't care about spending $100 on a game that we assume is going to be good, but I don't care. I bought the last Grand Theft Auto and barely played it. So personally, I'm not buying it for the channel. I'm just not. I have no desire. But let me know in the comments down below. When have you quit Destiny? And if you haven't, when do you plan on quitting Destiny? And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, game out. Huzzah.